Path Out is an autobiographical adventure game that allows the player to replay the journey of Abdullah Karam, a young Syrian artist that escaped the civil war in 2014. Camouflaged as a Japanese RPG, Path Out is a tale full of surprises, challenges, and paradoxical humor, giving insight in this real-life adventure on which Abdullah comments through YouTube-style videos in the game.
I still remember this moment, sitting in the van, driving away. Suddenly everything you see is it has a meaning. This is your childhood, this is your neighborhood, this is your city. You're saying goodbye to everything. And you're saying to yourself, where am I going now? To where and why? And why there's war? Why? Like, you would wish that this never happened before. You would realize what the war made to Syria and to your country.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Free Indie Games presented by Clickist.com. Path Out has the potential to be both a great game and an incredibly important one. As the description read, this is an autobiographical game about a young man, Abdullah Karam, escaping the Syrian civil war. Not only is the setting unique, at least in gaming, but so is the autobiographical element. How many games can you think of where one developer is telling their own story? I mean, there's That Dragon Cancer, but aside from that, I can't really think of many. Please feel free to tell us in the comments below, because I am incredibly fascinated by the idea of an autobiographical game like this. As you can see, the game is an RPG Maker one, at least I'm pretty sure it is, because it definitely follows the typical formula of that engine. It's got the original Final Fantasy top-down perspective thing, navigating your character around using the 4 cardinal directions, big heads, text boxes at the bottom of the screen, the works pretty much. There's not a ton on offer in the gameplay department, but where it thrives is in the dialogue and the developer commentary. The writing isn't 100% perfect, but it does a great job of setting the scene. You start out in Abdullah's mother's house in 2009, and Abdullah's brother is about to attend a demonstration of some kind. The power goes out and you have to go and get a lamp, and once you do, you come back to find your uncle in your mother's house, and they both tell you that the police fired into the crowd at the demonstration and that your brother has to flee the country now. From there, it just spirals out of control, and you truly feel like you have no control over what's going on, which I imagine is accurate. Another thing I love is Abdullah himself. Wearing the same clothes as his avatar in-game, he appears on the screen at certain points and further elaborates on his experience. But he does so in a way that challenges your expectation, and uses humor to re-engage you with what's going on. So, for example, early on, you step outside your home, and he comes up and tells you that the one he had wasn't actually like that house at all, because that one is more old-fashioned than his modern house. There's also a Campbell in a back alley at another point, and when you approach it, he scolds you for thinking that there are actually camels everywhere in the streets of Syria. These asides do a great job of further contextualizing what's going on in the game. It's one thing to see these sprite-based characters talk about the horror of the Syrian government, but it's another thing entirely to actually see the person you're playing as tell their own experience, and do so in such a charming and funny way. It's sort of the Metal Gear Solid principle, you know? Use humor, in its case characters who constantly crap their pants or make jokes about needing to insert a second CD even though you're on the power of the PS3, you know, to disarm the player. One minute you're laughing and the next you're crying. You experience the full spectrum of emotion in between, and that's what makes it work. The humor disarms you. You don't expect to suddenly walk into a sad or otherwise horrific situation. If Path Out were entirely somber and sad all the time, showing the horrors of the Civil War, and there are many to show, then you'd constantly just be depressed and sad, and it wouldn't have that same impact anymore. Right now, you can play Episode 1 of Path Out for free on itch.io or on Steam. itch.io or Steam. It's currently unknown when the game will be out, or if there even will be a next episode, knowing how indie development can go, but I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this. Don't let the look of it fool you. This could be something special.